There he is.
When you do love tennis, you don't need to have a 20,000 seater stadium, you know, so that's why I'm very happy to be here today. And it's true, we're just on the, you know, a few weeks away from Wimbledon starting, so it's obviously very exciting times in tennis indeed.
So you mentioned Wimbledon. Normally there's a bit of pressure on you at Wimbledon. What's it like to be back on a centre court? Do you call it centre court?
It's called centre court, for sure.
Centre court SE2 with no pressure.
It feels very good, you know, I must say, retired life is good, you know. I was just speaking to Bettina before, and she said what's the best part of being retired is just not having to put the body through the ringer, you know, every single day. Of course, I still enjoy going out on the tennis court, especially nowadays with my children. So whenever I get a chance to go back on the tennis court, it makes me very happy. And especially even more so here in London, where I've had such a great history in terms of results and you know, memories, of course, over the years. Olympics, O2 Arena, and then as well at Wimbledon. So I added another court to my collection, and it's a beautiful one. It's very, very special.
Well, talking of memories, we can all remember 2009 when you broke the Grand Slam record, 15 Grand Slams. It was a magical moment. We thought that record would stand for years. And just last week, Novak Djokovic got his 23rd Grand Slam. What do you think about your record being broken like that?
Well, incredible, great. I mean, honestly, it's great for tennis, great for sports. I mean, when tennis writes its own history and keeps on adding to it, like we've seen with Serena Williams as well, Rafa, then myself, and now with Novak, it's a great time in tennis, to be honest. You know, I guess to be a fan as well, but also a player. I thought what Novak did is incredible. You know, years. I mean, I remember when I came on tour and Pete Sampras reached 14. We thought that okay, that one was going to stay forever. Then I went to 15. I eventually, I think, ended up at 17, and then we pushed each other to 20. I don't remember who was first, and then Rafa pushed it to 22, I believe, and then now Novak pushed it to 23, and he looks like he's going to keep on doing that for a long time still to come, which is great, and I wish him all the best. I think also the way he's doing it, still, he's not the youngest anymore. We forget he looks young, and he does it like in a young way, but it's not easy, and I thought it was an amazing victory, so I couldn't have been more happy for him, to be honest.
Oh, what a lovely, magnanimous answer. Thank you. Now, he might not be the youngest, but he's still quite good at tennis, isn't he? And he's the favourite, I think, for Wimbledon this year. And we also got our own Andy Murray, who's battling to make the championship as well. Can you give us some thoughts on that, please?
Yeah, I mean, look, Andy, he's a special man, and I'm very happy he's still able to play, you know. He loves it, he truly loves it, so I think with all his complications he's had with his hip, it's amazing to see that he's still going, and I think we all should give him like a proper sort of a round of applause, if you like, because what he's going through and what he's achieving with what he's gone through is incredible. Funny enough, he just won a challenger, I believe, in Surbiton last week. I played that back in '99, lost in the semis, and so he won the same week as Novak, you know, got to this incredible record of 23 slams, and Andy's plucking away at Surbiton. I mean, that also deserves so much respect. So I'm a big fan of Andy's as well, and I wish him all the best for Wimbledon, and that's his best surface in my mind, especially nowadays. So I hope he's going to win many rounds at Wimbledon in a couple of weeks. They got to play. There's no choices for them there. We have too many friends that all love tennis, so I said my kids cannot be the only kids not playing tennis of all our friends, so they all play. I have twin boys that are 9, and I have twin girls that are just about to turn 14, so they're busy household, but yeah, I go out there a lot and we have a great time, and I think it's a great sport to, you know, learn about winning and losing, meeting other friends. I think it's a great way of life, to be honest. Tennis requires a little bit of things. It's not as easy as you know, where you just need one ball, but it's a great sport, and it's given me everything and more in my life. So of course I have my family also play tennis.
So there's also some people who aren't quite so young here. Do you have to be young to start playing tennis, or could older people, perhaps like me, take up a racket?
of course, you can do it when you're older. You will not make it to the professional level anymore. You know, that train has left the station a long time ago. But no, I mean, nowadays, funny enough, more and more, I mean, not funny enough, but interestingly, more kids start earlier and earlier, and they invest loads of time into tennis, which is great. I'm still a big believer in doing, if you can, do several sports. You know, it's football, tennis, you add everything to it, basketball, that's what I did growing up. But nowadays they focus very much on one sport only, and that very, very early, which I find quite impressive. I just hope the kids don't burn out by that thought. But yes, of course, you can play much later as well. I just think, like with many other sports actually, but I think tennis in particular, like golf as well, when it becomes quite technical, you got to put in the time. You got to put in the hours, and that's why, I don't know if you have a wall to play against, but a wall's always a fantastic training partner. I played hours and hours against the wall because the wall never misses, and you can play all sorts of games against it. So no, but I think it's a great sport, and at a later age, you can also still do that. And the great thing is, I feel like you can play till you're quite old, which is a great sport also for the community and everybody getting together and seeing each other and just hanging out as well at the courts.
So if you're saying you can play different sports, you don't have to have burnout, play against the wall, is there one piece of golden advice that you'd give our young players here?
The young aspiring tennis players, yes, absolutely. I mean, we all go through ups and downs. We know that, but you got to keep on plucking away, and got to keep on believing. I always think it's very important to listen to your parents now, especially that I'm a parent. You know, so that's life right now. Is I wish my kids would listen to me because we only mean well. Same with the coaches, same with the teachers. So try to listen to them and then learn quickly. You know, because a coach would like to, after maybe you've been hitting a lot of forehands, let's say, he would like to go and move over to the backhand. But if you're not listening and you're not focused, he'll keep on making you hit forehands, right? And you want to mix it up and keep moving forward. So if you can learn quickly, that's going to help you tremendously. But at the end of the day, I always like it when kids come to the game of tennis and they actually truly enjoy it, you know, and they ask for it when they're at home, and they say, like, can we go to the courts, not just for the element of just hitting tennis balls, but actually also playing catch around or playing hide and seek. Who knows what it is? That's what I did growing up, and that's why I'm very happy to see a lot of kids here, and they seem all very excited to get on the court after. So that's going to be very cool.
We're getting to that. Tennis has quite a traditional reputation, and you're most famous over here for wearing the beautiful whites at the LTA at Wimbledon. This is a bit more colourful.
A little bit.
why you're doing this here with Mercedes-Benz, please?
So this has been a wonderful project, you know, with Neon Legacy, and we auctioned off a car together. For a lot of money, which then allowed us in return, you know, to redo the courts here, and what a beautiful project with the Lowe brothers. So it's been wonderful. I think what they've done here is incredible. I think they really deserve a big round of applause, and I really hope everybody's going to help to take care of it, because it's always a challenge. The nets stay in shape, the court doesn't get destroyed, and the fence and everything stays in immaculate condition as long as possible, so you don't have to redo it all later on, because it's always very expensive. But this has been the idea, is also to give back to the community, and you know, as you grow older like me as well, I'm not the youngest anymore, you really actually what makes you most happy in life is to be able to give back. And so for me to be here today really makes me super, super happy. It's so different to what I used to do all the time. You go out and make people happy. A lot of money for a ticket and came and watched me play, so it's maybe also, I guess, a bit more my time now to give back, even though I do have my own foundation since 20 years as well, but this is very special, so I'm very happy to be here on this occasion.
Would you say this is the flagship for this new scheme?
I would think so, yes. I mean, I think this is one of the most special, most beautiful courts we have in the world, you know, to be honest. So, you know, we've seen courts like this, you know, coming out of basketball more so, right? When you have the lifestyle, but in tennis, you know, we're sometimes very traditional, like you said, the old whites at Wimbledon, and we don't like to break those rules. So I think seeing a court like this is something completely different. So I hope you see the pictures. Well, I don't know where the drone is now, but there's these pictures from the top which look absolutely incredible, and I really hope this place is going to be a place where people love to come, the community, the neighbors, and just have the best times and create memories for a lifetime. So I wish that to all of you. together and have that feeling of a team. I think it's beautiful. That's what I had at the Labour Cup in London, with Novak standing here, Rafa next to me, Andy Murray right there, and John McEnroe, Bjorn Borg, and all of the team. I mean, it was honestly a dream moment for me. Also that I could share it with my children. They were there. It was super late night, and all the people stayed, and it was obviously one of the most emotional moments of my life, of my career. And I don't know, it gave me a wonderful goodbye and I'll see you again moment, you know, in terms of for tennis as well. It made me really feel maybe really happy, to be honest. And then I could enjoy the weekend after that, because it was on Friday night, and then on Saturday, Sunday, you know, the Labour Cup continued, and it was a great event. So and of course the O2 will always be special to me. So whenever I come there, I will think of here as well, because it was all connected, right? That's why we are here today. So I remember seeing the neon, you know, Mercedes car right outside of the O2 where I did the photo shoot, and then they used that to auction off the car. So I was working all the way till the last moment, you know, before the end came. But it was a great moment, and very pleased that it went as nice as it did, and people seemed to. But they gave me so much love. It was really special.
4 young people who are going to ask you some questions. So
the tough ones.
Tough ones, yeah.
This is where we go.
So I'm going to hand you the microphone. Okay, so what's your question for Roger?
Who helped you the most on your journey to becoming a tennis player, and who was your inspiration?
Yes, so I guess you would have to start with your parents. You know, my parents took me to the tennis club on weekends. Like I said, I used to run around with all my friends, play football and then tennis, and we used to put on the grill and grill sausages, and it'd be like this great place just to hang out, you know. So I love that. So they got me into tennis. I played my first tournament when I was 8 years old, like most of the juniors did back in Basel, where I grew up. And then, of course, I had some very important coaches along the way. I really feel I've had the best coaches at every level of the level I was playing at. My heroes growing up were Boris Becker, Stefan Edberg, Pete Sampras, and then, you know, I needed my toughest rivals, you know, where my age at the time was Andy Roddick, Leighton Hewitt, Safin Ferrero, who now coaches Alcaraz, and then, of course, the next generation came through with Novak, Rafa, and Andy, you know, Murray, who then really challenged everything from me. So I think I really needed them to become the greatest player I could become, and of course I never made it look like I did, but I worked incredibly hard when nobody was watching, and I'm happy it all paid off, because I have been sweating a lot throughout my career, even though it maybe sometimes didn't show on the tennis court.
Thank you very much. What's your question for Roger?
Who do you think your hardest opponent was, and why?
So in the beginning of my career, I used to struggle against really good baseliners, like Andre Agassi as an example. I had the chance to play against him I believe maybe 10 or 13 times, so I was really fortunate with that. So those kind of players were really tough for me, because I feel like my backhand was really not the best yet, and I really struggled from the baseline to dominate, so I would panic and run to the net. And then until there came a time where I started to really understand how to play better from the baseline, and start beating them as well then. And then of course, I think then Rafa really challenged me in a very different way, with his lefty, big spin, playing from far back. He exposed sort of the high backhand, which was a struggle for me in the beginning, especially on slower surfaces. So I'd say, look, obviously then Rafa, Novak as well, you know, in many ways he made life difficult, and Andy as well. So it's always the classic guys that keep on popping up again. But I'm actually, in the beginning I was like, that's not so cool that they're around. I wish I could just win even more and everything. But I'm actually really grateful now that I've, you know, taken many steps back. If I look back, I'm so happy they were there, because they made me a way better player than I probably could have, would have been otherwise. And I think Novak, Andy, me and Rafa, we all speak that same language, you know, that we're actually very happy that side by side we had this incredible rivalry, friendship, career, and that's why those guys always have been very important, but also generation before that, you know, that shaped me, to be quite honest.
Thank you. What's your question for Roger?
Now that you have retired, what are your plans for the future?
Just hang out at home on the couch. I take a lot of time for the children. You know, all my 4 children, they need a lot of time right now. I help them with everything that I can. I'm a professional driver nowadays. I bring them to all their activities and all that stuff. But no, quite honestly, I'm still doing a lot of sponsor things and back out traveling again, which has been so much fun because through COVID, we're all at home. So I think doing that is fun. Like I mentioned before, we're celebrating the 20-year anniversary of my foundation as well. So I just come back from Africa for the first time with my family, which is an absolutely beautiful, one of the most magical trips I've ever done. So that was wonderful, and then I'm looking forward to come to Wimbledon for a couple of days just to see how it is as a retired player to be at the tournament, at the championships, and then I go on vacation eventually with everybody, with the children. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
You have the honour of the last question today. So what's your question for Roger?
Why did you choose to be a tennis player out of all the other sports?
Well, I was better at tennis, so that helped. So tennis was my thing. I did play football, and it was a toss-up a little bit maybe between football and tennis, but I just felt I liked to be in control of winning and losing. So if I lost, I only had myself to blame. If I won, I had myself to blame as well, which was a good feeling as well. And I just felt it was, for me, a more clear of a path how I could get to the top, maybe in tennis or at least locally. Whereas in football, I felt like I was way more dependent on the coach and the club and everything. Whereas in tennis, it was a little less of that. And I just love tennis, you know, to be honest. So I'm very happy I chose that path. I got to travel to the most incredible countries, cities, met the most unbelievable people, you know, along the way as well, from super important to not important, but those were made me really, really happy to meet as well, because, you know, I love meeting everybody, and it's been a wonderful journey. So I will still be going to tennis tournaments in the future. I always told my children, that's like my second family, you know, so I cannot wait to go back to tournaments. I've been a little shy of returning to some tournaments, just I think I needed some time away, and then I knew we were always going to see each other again. So it's been a wonderful time, and pick up a tennis racket, you guys too. Tennis is a wonderful sport, and I wish you all the very best as well to become an athlete. Doesn't have to be tennis, but if you choose tennis, you know you'll make me very, very happy.
Well, give a round of applause for our 4 future Federers.
Well done, you guys. Thank you for the questions.
Now, folks, thank you for your patience this afternoon. Roger will be, I believe, picking up a tennis racket.
Oh yeah, let's see if I still have it.
You said that you've got a few tough opponents. We've got about 50 here.
Well, exactly, that's tougher than one.
Baseline.
It's Federer now playing tennis with kids at the moment.
So Roger, before you play again, your first match after retirement, I believe, here in London. Any thoughts? Any first time nerves?
I am just so excited. I love seeing a lot of kids on the court. I used to do all like kids clinics coming up when I was about in my late teens, when I came on tour, until they wanted me to do press conferences and photo shoots and stuff like that. I used to do kids clinics almost every other week. So it reminds me of that, and it's super nice to be able to hopefully inspire the next superstar, you know, coming out of this bar. Would be fantastic. So I hope we're gonna have a good time, and let's just enjoy ourselves here.
That's my bag.
Give it up for Roger.
Anything? No.
I'll go well. I finished.
You got some, yeah?
Hold on. Take one.
He's even on Skype. Dad, look! Dad! Look! even on stage 4.
No.
Technically, I have watched it.
They said 10 o'clock, they changed his mind, see, he can't do it today. The thing is, like this week, I've started working in the team side. I haven't got my
Yeah, fantastic. But I want to see those feet moving.
It might be easier to reference.
Well done, well done. Yeah?
Did you catch it? Okay, I'm going to move the line behind my shoes and then move back. Okay, and again. Tap. Catch.
No, you're going to say this.
Okay. I want one. I want one for myself. Take care, boy. Go on. Next time.